thought of herself as a drummer.
Is that right?
Which is amazing to me. Didn't she know how well she sang?
She did.
To most of the world, Karen Carpenter was a singer, her soft, angelic voice becoming the sound of a generation. But what many people don't know is that Karen herself didn't see it that way. In her heart, she always considered herself first and foremost a drummer. Surprising, isn't it? Especially for someone blessed with such a natural, stunning vocal gift. Yet, behind the studio walls and glittering stage lights, Karen lived a far more complicated life. A life haunted by hidden pain and private battles that fame couldn't heal. For years, whispers have surrounded the Carpenters. Rumors of strict family control, harsh favoritism, and personal demons hidden behind smiles. And now, after decades of silence, Karen's brother and musical partner, Richard Carpenter, has finally opened up, shedding light on the heartbreaking reality behind their rise to stardom. Karen Carpenter was born on March 2, 1950, in New Haven, Connecticut. Her older brother Richard had come into the world 4 years earlier. Their childhood was anything but warm. Their parents, Agnes and Harold Carpenter, had little affection between them, and even less to spare for their children. Agnes, in particular, openly favored Richard, leaving Karen to grow up in her brother's shadow. Their father Harold, however, had a deep passion for music. His vast record collection, spanning everything from jazz to classical, became the siblings' first teacher. Encouraged by their father, Richard showed prodigious musical talent early on. By his teens, he had mastered the piano and was dreaming of a future in music. Karen, meanwhile, remained quietly on the sidelines, listening rather than performing, unnoticed but absorbing everything. It wasn't until high school that Karen stumbled into her true passion. Ironically, it began with an attempt to skip gym class. She joined the school band and fell in love with the drums. From there, music became her world. In 1965, Richard formed a jazz trio with Karen on drums and their schoolmate Wes Jacobs playing bass. The Richard Carpenter Trio, as Richard insisted on naming it, began making waves locally. Though Karen's role was minimized publicly, it was clear to those who watched them rehearse that her raw energy and timing were something special. The trio's big break came the following year when they won a state music competition and caught the attention of RCA Records. But their sound, soft jazz, didn't fit the era's shifting tastes. The record deal fizzled. The group disbanded. For Richard, this setback wasn't the end. He formed another group, Spectrum, exploring richer vocal harmonies. But again, commercial success proved elusive. What Richard did discover during this period, however, would change their lives. Karen wasn't just a drummer. Her voice, pure, clear, haunting, was something extraordinary. In 1969, a friend slipped one of their demo tapes to Herb Alpert, the legendary musician and co-founder of A&M Records. Captivated by Karen's vocals, Alpert signed them immediately. But their first album offering, released that same year, flopped. A&M executives began losing faith. Herb Alpert, however, didn't give up on them. And soon his faith paid off. Alpert presented the siblings with a song, one that had failed in the hands of other famous artists. They longed to be close to you. Initially unsure, Richard and Karen agreed to record it. When it was released in 1970, the song soared. Within months, it sold over 3 million copies and shot to #1 on the Billboard charts, launching the Carpenters into overnight superstardom. Success after success followed. Inspired by a wedding commercial, Richard penned "We've Only Just Begun," which became another massive hit later that same year. Carpenters had arrived. Their smooth, clean sound a welcome contrast to the rock-heavy airwaves of the early 70s. Their second album solidified their fame, with Karen's voice at the heart of every hit. But as their songs topped charts, darker struggles brewed behind the scenes. While Richard wrestled with insomnia and turned to prescription sedatives, Karen's battle was more insidious. During early promotional tours, a cruel article criticized her appearance, calling her chubby compared to the thin ideal of the time. Comments wounded her deeply. Praised when she lost weight, Karen soon became obsessed. What began as careful dieting spiraled into dangerous territory. She started hiding food, abusing laxatives, and chasing an impossible standard she thought she had to meet. By 1971, Karen was stepping out from behind the drums, reluctantly accepting the spotlight as fans clamored to see the face behind the voice. Though she shone on stage, her body was beginning to weaken. Richard, despite his growing dependence on sedatives, pushed forward. He knew Karen's voice was their golden ticket, and he was determined to protect it. Albums like Horizon and A Song for You kept the Carpenters at the top. Even when their seventh album in 1976 failed to match previous successes, the Carpenters had already left their mark on music history. But Karen, the voice that captivated millions, was fading. By 1975, she weighed barely 90 pounds. Still, she denied she had a problem. Her family, unaware of the full extent of her disorder, assumed it was stress. Audiences, watching her smiling beneath stage lights, had no idea she was dying before their eyes. In a desperate bid for love and stability, Karen married real estate developer Thomas Burris in 1980. She believed she had finally found her happy ending. But just days before the wedding, Burris revealed a devastating secret. He had undergone a vasectomy years earlier and could never give her the children she dreamed of. Karen wanted to cancel the wedding, but her mother forbade it, insisting it was too late to back out. Seeking approval she never truly received, Karen went through with it. The marriage quickly soured. Burris spent her money recklessly and subjected Karen to emotional, and even physical, abuse. Within a year, she filed for divorce. By then, Karen's body was breaking down. She was taking nearly 90 laxatives a night, coupled with thyroid medications to speed up her metabolism. Her once vibrant spirit was trapped in a fragile frame. Finally, in 1981, recognizing she couldn't fight alone any longer, Karen sought professional help.